Hi, I'm going to briefly go over the two writing assessments that you're going to do this week on your case study student, and these are the last of your assessments. Okay, so the word cafe, there's an article that is posted online about the word cafe, and then there are directions for administration and directions for scoring. So please read through those. I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. Um, I would use this assessment if I was teaching a whole classroom and it's really fast. It's 10 minutes and you can give it to your whole class and be able to target students to really support. I feel like it's more about vocabulary knowledge in writing rather than just writing, but I hope that after you do this assessment, you'll find out more information about your student, and I love to hear the ways that you feel like you could use this assessment. I think that it would be a great screener, class-wide or school-wide, to gauge a student's writing complexity, accuracy, and fluency. But it's very quantitative, and writing is usually not quantitative, so it is an interesting assessment for that. All right, the second one I'm going to briefly go over is the Words Their Way writing assessment. Words Their Way is a book. I don't know if you can see this, but this book. And a lot of teachers use this book in their classroom. It has a lot of great instructional ideas for teaching spelling. And it has a lot of centers and activities that are really easy to print out and to use in your class as centers. So the one thing I would say about Words Their Way is sometimes teachers use it in place of phonics. It shouldn't be used in place of phonics because there's no blending that's going on with it. But it is a great spelling program and it does reinforce students' phonics a lot because it focuses on spelling patterns. And our whole school uses it and it is a great program. But for scoring it, I feel like the administration is pretty self-explanatory. You read the word, you read a sentence with the word in it, and then you read the word again. You can repeat the word if the kid needs it, but that's all you need to do, just like a regular spelling test. And then you can just do it on any lined sheet of paper, have the student write the words. When you're done with it, you're going to print out the feature guide and you're going to score it. And basically there's different ways that kids can get points. They get points if the word's spelled correctly. So you can go down first and just check if they spell it correctly and then get 1 point for that. They also get points for the features that they used correctly. So for example, if they don't spell it right, but they get the double P, ing in shopping, they get a point for that. So, and they get 2 points if they spell shopping right and get the double P, ing in shopping. All right, I hope that makes a little bit of sense. So you're going to have 2 places for the scores. At the far right side, you're going to put a point for them spelling it correctly, and then you're going to add it up at the bottom. And then at the end of each column, for the different features, you're also going to give points there. So you add up the feature points, which are the individual spelling patterns, and then you add up the words spelled correctly, and then you get the raw score. Okay, so there you add those 2 scores to get the total score, which is the raw score. All right, and so the other part of grading this assessment, which is the really important part for instruction, is finding out the student's spelling stage. And for the Words Their Way assessment, the spelling stage is not their independent level, like the DRA, but is their instructional level. So we want to see at which point are they faltering on this assessment so we can give them support in that area. So basically the rule is when they score about 80% in any column, that is where their instructional level is, where you can start giving them support. There's no hard and fast rule on this. You have to know the students because, for example, I might have a student that scored 80% in the digraphs column. That is somewhat common. And then maybe they score 100% all the way up to bases and roots, and that's where they score 80% again. So for that student, I might not put them in letter, alphabetic, middle, or late, which would be where most of the students struggling with digraphs would be. But I would give them a little bit of review with digraphs and then move them into bases and roots, because that's where they really need the most support. And so you really want to take this information. Hopefully it will give you more knowledge about your student and what they know about words. But to get the spelling stage, I'm going to show you this chart, and it's not going to be a very good picture, but I'm just going to show you so you can see the columns. Okay. So this is the chart, and you probably can't read it, but up here at the top, okay, these are the stages. And the issue here is that these stages don't line up directly with the columns, and this is kind of troublesome sometimes. But once you get to know this assessment, it'll be a lot easier to use it. So we have the emergent stage, letter name alphabetic, within word pattern, syllables and affixes, and derivational relationships. So these are your spelling stages. And within those spelling stages, we want to know if the student is early, middle, or late. And so you look at these columns down here: consonant, short vowel, digraphs, blends, long vowels, other vowels, and figure out, based on their errors, what stage they're in up here. So, for example, if my student scored 80% in long vowels and 70% in other vowels, I would probably start them in long vowels. That's also pretend they got 100% in blends. I would say their instructional level is long vowels, and I would put that student in within word middle. And so you really need to decide based on how many they get right or wrong in the adjacent columns, what their stage would be. So if you have any particular questions about your student, I can look at it and help you out with it, but just try to figure it out, look at it, and see if you can figure it out. If not, email me or Mark. All right? So thank you. I am not going to put this back right, but thank you. You probably just saw our messy table. Have a great week. Bye.